Wherever you are in Vancouver, in Canada, anywhere around the world, we welcome you to Unity of Vancouver, where we practice common sense spirituality. Today and this month, we're talking about abundance. So put your seatbelt on and get ready to get rich, because we're going to be talking about all the little nuances in between us and wealth that come up. Let's get together now and do a meditation just to open our day. So if you will just sit in a comfortable position, feet flat on the floor, bottom part of your spine up against the back of your chair, and just relax. And you're going to take breaths in and out through your nose or through your mouth. I prefer to breathe in through my nose and maybe out through my mouth, but that's up to you. Take a deep breath, but not a powerful breath, just a full breath, and hold it. And when you let it go, just let that go gently, gently, and let your body just relax. So breathing in, holding that breath for just 2 or 3 seconds, then letting that breath go. And as it goes, your body just falls into deeper relaxation. And you hold that beautiful space of relaxation before you inhale again. Gently, gently breathing the pure grace of God. Breathing the pure grace of God flowing in and going into every cell of your body, bringing life, bringing abundance of life and of grace and of joy into each cell of your body, so that you are becoming one with Holy Spirit. And you can feel that. You are an eternal being a human being for a little while. And the presence of God, which is the great presence, the great creative energy, pure love, moving through you and through the universe, connecting you and the universe. And as you breathe, you fall deeper and deeper and deeper into that beautiful space that is pure grace. Deeper until you're moving outside of your body, then outside of the room, then outside of the building, and out into the sky, because you're one with all things now. And as you move out into the sky, into the stars, you are one with the universe. You are pure grace, and you are surrounded by the grace, by the love that you are. The breath of God is your breath, moving in and out, holding you, snuggling and caressing you, and letting you know that you are surrounded and filled and always protected by this master of love, which is God, which is you in all forms. And as you rest now in this place in the universe, way over there you can see that beautiful gold and blue orb that is planet Earth, the most beautiful of all of the spheres in this galaxy. And as you look around, you feel your eternity. Love. Peace. Joy. You are safe. You are safe. You are completely well. You are completely well. You are love. You are joy. You are peace. You are loved. You are blessed. You are safe. You are free. All of your life is in this instant. In this instant, you are being held in the arms and in the heart of Holy Spirit. There is no power in any universe more powerful than this. All that is dwells here in the heart of God, and as your heart is God, in the heart of you. You are here in this sacred space, eternal, joyful, and peaceful. And I will be quiet and just let you be you in this space. Dear friend, when you hear the beautiful voice of Linda Kidder, let that bring you back to the sanctuary. Not right now, but in a little while. And when you come back, bring with you this person that you find yourself being right now.
I got me a dog, and she keeps me alright. 2 beating hearts in the deep of night, and it seems that's all I need right now. I sleep with one ear open, I listen for her sound. I got me a car that's hard on gas. I bought her for looks, comfort and class, and she always gets me where I wanna go. And freedom is a kiss on the cheek and a quick trip out the door. And I know what I'm doing, and I'm doing fine. I got me a map, and I am trekking through it. I'm turning with the tide, and everything is alright. I got me a candle, tiny golden light. It glows in the dark and keeps the cold outside. My heart is settled, no longer in my throat. Surrender now is how I live and keep myself afloat. And I know I'm not supposed to, but I feed the birds and I walk my neighbor's dog. out on the weeknights. I'm turning with the tide, and everything is alright. La 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 la, la 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 la, la da da da, la da da da. As the earth spins her revolutions, the days pass with busying speed. In my glacial evolution, I have everything I need. I got me a friend I haven't seen for years. We talked on the phone, and she held my tears. Oceans of future stretching straight ahead, with ones I love in woolen socks and road trips round the bend. And I know what I'm made of. I've taken my stock, I've accepted my terms, and I am airtight. I'm turning with the tide, and everything is alright. I'm turning with the tide, and everything is alright.
Good morning, and thank you again, Linda Kidder. My gosh, you just touched my heart so deeply with your incredible soul. Thank you, thank you. My dear friends, this month is Abundance Month. Every talk we have this month, five Sundays, is going to be a different step in abundance. The art of living is living a life that's filled with abundance. And it's just that, it's an art. It's the ability to see, to feel, to believe, and to expect abundance and prosperity in all areas of our lives, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. You know, Jesus, who the great master teacher, who gave us so much philosophy and so many lessons about how to live life and live it well, said, you know, someone said maybe to him, why did you come here? What are you doing here? He said this: I have come that you should have abundance, that you should have life, and that you should have it more abundantly. Do you notice that he didn't say, I came that you should live like a pauper, settling for whatever crumbs you can find? Nor did he say, I want you to work hard and then maybe you can get ahead. He said that you and I are entitled to live abundantly. That means having more than enough in every area of your life, including an abundance of love, an abundance of happiness, an abundance of health, and yes, an abundance of money. Here's good news. The percentage of global population living in absolute poverty fell over 80% between 1800 and 2015. 80%. In Canada, the current rate of poverty is 10.1%. Now, that's good because it's better than it was in the past, but that's still more than 3,800,000 people. So we're winning. But globally, 734 million hungry people is far, far too many. Would you agree? So why are so many, including some who are watching this video right now, experiencing lack in their lives? And today I'm going to address one of the most important reasons. Many of us are experiencing lack of abundance because we're keeping ourselves in deprivation by continually validating our lack. That's generally called complaining. We affirm by words, by thoughts, by beliefs, and by actions that we're victims, and that nothing that we can do is going to change that. We're focused then on what we don't want instead of what we do want. And as the result, the law of attraction then attracts deeper poverty. The law of attraction is absolute. That's been proven continually over the course of human history. We're creators, and we create by intention. Know what I mean? Like if I put my intention on something, my intention that I intend for that to happen, it happens. But here's the problem. Our intention is guided by our attention. Where our attention is where our creative intention is. In other words, where our attention is focused is where our creative power is at work. I want to tell you a quick story. Mary and I were rafting down the Rogue River. Beautiful, beautiful river. Oh my gosh. And for so many, many, many miles, you'll go through complete wilderness where there's nothing, there's no roads, no people, no cars, no houses, just God's glorious, glorious wilderness. And there are rapids, and you have to be really alert when you go through those rapids to know how to point your raft and how to backpedal and to get through the rapids safely. So there's one place in a rapids where below the rapids, and these are really rough rapids, below the rapids, below this sort of a waterfall area is a big rock called Volkswagen. Now, those of you who are watching who've rafted the Rogue River know exactly what I'm talking about. So I pulled the raft over to the side of the river and I got up on the bank, climbed up a little ways, and I looked at the river and I looked at the rapids and how they worked. And I looked below the rapids at this big rock Volkswagen, and most of the rapids were going straight into that rock. But there, I could see that there was a way that you could get in a certain current. And if you backpedaled a certain way, you'd move around that rock and miss it. Volkswagen. So I focused on that rock and I thought about that rock. And I thought about the problem of getting past that rock. And I really worked on that. Now, I got in the boat and I knew exactly what I was going to do. And my eye was on that rock, going to miss that rock. So we came down into the rapids. I did everything I thought I was going to do all the time. In my mind, there's Volkswagen sitting there. And what happened? We went right straight up on the rock. Bang. The boat turned sideways. Water's pouring in. We're stuck there. And fortunately, in just a bit, the water changed and moved us around the rock and we were loose. That wasn't the truth for all the people. So some people even lost their lives on that rock. I focused on Volkswagen. I focused on what I didn't want to happen rather than on what I wanted to happen. And I created exactly where I was focused. Where my attention was is where my creative intention was. We're masters. We're spiritual masters. We're creating our own realities, moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day. My friend, if there's any lack in your life, it's not because there's not enough, but because you're blocking abundance from coming into you through negative thinking, through limited beliefs about the prosperity you deserve. You're focusing on what you don't want. And that's what you're getting. That's your Volkswagen. So here's an easy way to know how much money you're really worth. And we're talking about self-worth, aren't we? The biggest block. How much money are you really worth? Check your current bank account, your credit card debts and other debts, and how much money's in your wallet, and you'll know exactly how much you're worth. And we can't pretend that it's getting better because we've been trying to make it better for how long now? How many years have we been trying to make it better? Listen to me. Money lives in your pocket and wealth lives in your mind. Money lives in your pocket and wealth lives in your mind, and they are always going to be equal. The amount of money that you have and the amount of self-worth are always going to be equal, always. In order to change our lives in any way, we have to focus on what we want, and we have to become what we want. We have to become that which we want. We have to become the change we wish to see. This is true in every area of life, especially in our finances. When we keep our focus and our trust on what we positively want, that's our focus and our trust, our faith on what we positively want, then new opportunities will start appearing. And when we do, then we can stop focusing on the rock that we don't want to hit, and we'll find the current of prosperity flowing through our lives. My dear friend, you must see that your mind is not a solitary little tune playing in your skull. That mind of yours is a vast energy field, and it's expressing itself constantly through thoughts, through behaviors, through beliefs. Your mind is connected to the massive internal energy of the universe. It's connected to the eternal sacred intelligence, to the all-powerful creative presence. Your mind being one with the mind of God. And that universal intelligence is connecting to you in such a way as to receive your thoughts and turn them into reality, the reality you're focused on. So where your thoughts go, so go the act of creation. Of course, there's exceptions to that. Those who are bent on destruction, they're without sacred power, aren't they? And instead, they have to use their personal force, and blessedly, that is soon exhausted, and the river of energy dries up in their lives. Many of us think that money is the abundance. But let me ask you this question. If today you suddenly became unbelievably wealthy, how would your life change? Would your attitude change, and would your daily sense of joy change? Most of us have this process backwards. We think that money comes first, and then after that money comes the joy, comes the peace, comes the blessings of feeling abundant. When in fact, that's backward thinking, because it's the other way around. That when we are feeling joyful, when we're feeling abundant, when we're feeling grounded in the love of God and the knowledge that we are born abundant and that we live abundant, when we know that, then money flows in. Your ability to create abundance is equal to your attitude of gratitude and joy. Your ability to create abundance is equal to your attitude of gratitude and joy. Think with me, please. How would your life change with $10 million today? Would you have a greater peace of mind? Would you laugh more? Would you spend more time with family and friends? Would you be more generous to the causes that you believe in? Then don't wait for the 10 million. Now's the time to refurnish the home of your mind in such a way that when that $10 million comes, it'll feel comfortable. Henry David Thoreau said, if you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That's where they should be. Now put the foundations under them and be abundant.
So I was feeling low down, shoveling pain by the pound, looking down at my shoes. feeling like a human in doubt. Really, my inside was out, very hard to amuse. Then I heard something outside, all about the Mr. Sun. Somebody singing outside, making me the lucky one. Your song, it lifted my heart. Your song, it lifted my heart. You were there in the backyard, playing and working so hard, making pies out of mud. I was all wrapped in my head, wanted to be back in bed, sinking down in the flood. Then I heard singing outside, all about the golden sun. Somebody singing outside, making me the lucky one. Your song is lifting my heart. Your song is lifting my heart. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, you're the miracle changing my life, sending me to my soul. Sweet miracle changing in my life, thrilling me head to toe. Your love is lifting my heart. Your love is lifting my heart. It's lifting my heart. Your love, it lifted my heart. Your love, it lifted my heart.
And your heart is lifting my heart, Linda. Your music is lifting my heart. Your love is lifting my heart. Listen, my dear friends, we're talking now about gratitude, because gratitude is such a powerful part of abundance. Living in abundance is living in constant gratitude. Like I feel such gratitude for just being uplifted by Linda's music. The more I'm grateful, the more I will have to be grateful for. Did you know that? The more I'm grateful, then the more blessings come into my life for me to be grateful for. An attitude of gratitude is an attractive for more of what you want. You must see gratefulness for the finances you have and not demean them, no matter how small they are. Be grateful for them, because that opens the door to more money. For example, you must be grateful for every single thing you possess. Give thanks, because that's a true step to abundance. Your attitude of gratitude raises your vibration and attracts more circumstances for you to be grateful for. Sarah Ben Brithnow said, "You simply will not be the same person 2 months from now after consciously giving thanks each day for the abundance that exists in your life. And you'll have more, and you will have set in motion an ancient spiritual law. The more you have and are grateful for, the more will be given to you." And David Thoreau said, "I learned this, at least by my experiment, that if one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet success unexpected in common hours." In proportion as he simplifies his life, the laws of the universe will appear less complex, and solitude will not be solitude, nor poverty, nor weakness. You know, my dear friends, you and I were born to be abundant. You were born to have it all. And you were allowed to have more than you ever dreamed was possible. Do you have some kind of a thought inside of your mind that to be incredibly wealthy would be selfish, that you'd be taking away from others? No, you'd be able to give to others. You'd be able to channel that wealth that's not flowing through you right now into those places that you think are important. After all, this universe is unlimited, truly unlimited. How can we be anything but abundant? Think of how abundant nature is. Can you even count the blades of grass out in your yard or the stars in the sky? We each have the same intelligent energy within us that creates that grass and the stars. How can we be anything but abundant? Please remember and practice this way. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you believe. So change your beliefs to be in line with what you truly want. Because if you want one thing, but you're believing something else, that something else is what you're going to get. Volkswagen. Your current life is a perfect reflection of your beliefs. And you can only attract what you right now feel worthy of. With self-worth, money will flow into you from all directions. Same with love, same with career, same with job, same with health, same with anything you may want to manifest. The truth is, you're here to play the game of life and attract more wonders into your life every day, because the fullness of your life then gives you the opportunity to be totally you. And that's what we're here for. Albert Einstein said there are only two ways to live your life, either as though nothing is a miracle or as though everything is a miracle. I believe in you. I know that you're a miracle. I know that you came here for a very important and valuable purpose, and that you can only fulfill that purpose if you first feel prosperous. I want you to feel the presence of that prosperity. It's here now, waiting for you to get your limited beliefs out of the way so it can embrace you, embrace your life. This month's of Abundance Month. And next week, we're going to talk about your first source of wealth. The creation of true and dependable prosperity requires that we first be aware of the most powerful tool for creating abundance. This week, please work on your worthiness to be wealthy by saying this affirmation many times every day. I am worthy of abundance in all things today. I am worthy of abundance in all things today. Say that with me now. I am worthy of abundance in all things today. If you say that every day during this week, you're going to feel some changes happening. I love you.
Abundance is all around me. Abundance is all around me. It's in the flowers, it's in the trees, it's in the honey at your feet, it's in the stars that you see. It's our birthright. So look around and see it everywhere. It's in your shoes, your hats, the clothes you wear. All I know, abundance is everywhere. Abundance is all around me. Oh, abundance is all around me. It's in the earth that you walk song. It's in the water that bathes you, that bathes you. It's with your friends, it's having a laugh. It's breathing fresh air and watering the plants. So listen round and hear it everywhere. It's with the bats, the bees, the birds that fly with flair. All I know, abundance is everywhere. Oh, abundance is all around me. Yes, abundance is all around me. It's in the green, green grass and the big blue ocean. It's with the whales and the dolphins that play in splendid motion. It's in the carpet, it's in the rug, it's in the bed you sleep in. So look around and feel it everywhere. It's with the people you love and you get to share. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Feel it here, feel it now. Feel it in your blood and bones. Feel it in your every cell. Feel it being natural. Oh, feel it now, feel it now. Feel it now, feel it now. Abundance is all around me.
Thank you, Linda Kidder. Oh my goodness. Such a blessing you are to us, such a blessing to have you in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you. I feel the same.
As the sign says, our Q&A starts right now. And Reverend Bob, the first question that I have here is this: how do you share your abundance of joy to someone buried in lack?
Wow, that's a really good question. That's a really good question. And it's a fairly easy question to answer. If we all have people who are burdened by lack. I certainly have those people. And incidentally, not all of those people are poor. Some of those people have a lot of money, but they're still in poverty because they're afraid to spend their money. They're afraid to donate their money to worthwhile causes. They're afraid to use their money to enrich their lives. They say, oh, you never know what might happen in the future, so you got to be real careful. Well, they don't have money. What they have is a stack of green paper and some coins. Wealth is the ability to flow with your life. So if you have someone in your life that's not abundant and they're really having a hard time and their attitude is that which is keeping them in poverty, then what you can do is be an example to them and let them know as you're moving through your steps, I'm becoming more abundant. I'm doing this affirmation. I'm focusing on what I want and not what I don't want. I stopped complaining. I'm not going to complain anymore. If I complain, word comes out of my mouth, tell me to stop. I'm going to talk about what I have and what's good and the abundance that's flowing into me in all the areas of my life. If you do that, they will then have a path to follow. Thank you.
So here's another one, Bob. When negative thoughts come up, concentrating on them will make them grow. But what is a practical way and a practical, fast way to stop them in the moment?
Thank you. Thank you for that question. The affirmation that I gave you in the service, at the minute that those negative thoughts come up, go right to your affirmation. Go right to your affirmation. That's what the affirmation's for, is to take the knees out from under those negative thoughts. And it works. Go right to your affirmation. Thank you.
So this is a follow-up question. How many times a day should you say that affirmation? Is there a best time of day?
Well, you're asking the wrong guy if you're lazy. Because I personally believe, I want to change my life. I want to change my life. I am focused, determined, dedicated, and committed to changing my life. Then that means that affirmation is the most important thing in my day. That means that I will say it a minimum of 200 times. Now, what I used to do is say that in sets of 25 throughout the day. I don't do that anymore. Now I say the affirmation all day long. I say it constantly. I say it whenever my mind or my fantasies or thoughts go somewhere, I pull them right back to the affirmation. I don't know how many times a day I say it, but it becomes my life. It becomes the foundation of my thinking pattern. Make it work for you this week. I promise you, if you use that affirmation throughout this week, as I'm telling you, you will notice your life changing by this time next week.
So here's a question. How do we resolve the problem that our abundance is destroying the very environment that we depend on?
Well, that's an excellent question. But in fact, our abundance will not destroy the environment. True abundance will save the environment. True abundance means that we will have the wealth and the power of our wealth. Keep in mind that wealth has power. We'll have wealth and the power of our wealth to make the changes in the world that we need to make in order to save the planet. We want more electric cars. That means more money. That means more power from the people advocating for electric cars, for wind turbines, for solar power, for desalinization plants in those parts of the world where there's not enough water. That requires money. That requires abundance, not just from the people directly involved in those situations, but from you and me who can affect those people with our abundance by making donations to the campaigns or to the efforts to save the planet. So if we're going to make a difference in saving the planet, we'd better be abundant. Otherwise, we're just helpless bystanders. Thank you.
And this is actually a comment and a question from Donna to everyone. If you had a friend who spoke to you in the same way that you sometimes speak to yourself, how long would you show or allow this person to be your friend? So we often judge ourselves more harshly than others do. Sometimes I find myself saying things like, you're an idiot, or you just make another mistake, so I can't do that, or I'm too old. Anyways, here's the question. What steps can we take to correct negative self-talk to ourselves if we have been on autopilot all our lives?
I am loved, whole, perfect, and complete. I am loved, whole, perfect, and complete. Those 4 things. That's an affirmation for when that happens, when I'm saying, damn it, I screwed that up again. God, will I never learn? Whoa, wait a minute. If you talk to a friend that way, Donna, you're right. If you talk to a friend that way, that person wouldn't be your friend very long. Then don't talk to you that way. I am whole, perfect, complete. Just exactly that. You've got to do those affirmations. And you've got to make them happen at the moment when you're falling off the cart. That's how you get back on. I'm perfect, whole, perfect, and complete. I lost a word in that, didn't I? Anyway, you got it. Thank you.
Many of us have heard different affirmations in our life. So here's a question. Is it true that money doesn't grow on trees?
No, it's not true. An apple tree grows apples, and that's the abundance of the apple tree. And a forest, the fir trees and the pine trees put on cones, and that's their abundance. Abundance grows on trees, abundance grows in rivers, abundance grows in rain clouds, abundance goes everywhere. And you can call abundance money, because that in our society is what we call abundance. But abundance is love, Abundance is health. Abundance is relationships, my connection with you. So abundance grows on trees. Money is the, can you just hear this? And you'll hear it many times over these 5 weeks. Money is the physical manifestation of my personal power in motion. Money is the physical manifestation of my personal power in motion. So if I'm abundant, then yes, money grows on trees. Money grows on the tree of me. Thank you. Interesting question.
Here's one. What does it really mean to have more than enough?
Thanks. See, if you have more than enough, then you have a buffer zone. Like if you need a new car and you want to get a new car. So you go to showrooms and you look at cars and you say, well, we could afford this car, but, to get these extra things in there is above our budget. That's abundance. Abundance is being able to spend beyond what you think in order to fulfill your needs. Abundance is being able to have enough money to give some away, to give some to Unity of Vancouver, to give some to the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts, to give some to the places that you believe in. Abundance is having more than you need so you can be generous in your abundance. More than enough, so that you can begin the creator, the giver, the godmother of the world, rather than just a participant. Thank you.
Okay, here's a really good one. What is the connection between service and abundance?
Ooh, wow. Who asked that question? That's a great
anonymous.
question.
Anonymous.
Well, listen, Anonymous, you really got your thinking cap on. Because see, here's the thing, is that abundance, you might even say, starts with service. Because I say, I'd like to donate some time. I'd like to volunteer, for instance, at Unity. I'd like to volunteer, but I really just don't have time. I'm so busy. I mean, I've got a job and I've got my kids and I've got the meals and the shopping and the ironing and the washing, and I just don't have time. You're right. You don't have time. You're in poverty regarding time. Want more time? Then be in service with your time. If you give away time, your time expands. Time is an illusion. You know that. I know that. Physically, in terms of physics, time and space are an illusion. All time is now. All space is now. You can be driving to the airport, for instance, but you got a late start from home and your plane leaves in X number of minutes, and there's no way you can get there in that amount of time. Because the speed limit is this, and your car's going this fast, and that'll take that long to get to the airport. You have to park it, and you have to get your luggage, and you have to go in, and you have to check in. So there's no way you're going to make it unless you expand time. And you can expand time because time isn't fixed. It's fixed on the clock, but it's not fixed in your life. You can expand time. You can expand your ability to be in service. And if you know that, in the knowing of that, you also can see how easily you can expand your prosperity. You can expand your abundance in the same way by not saying, I only have just enough, or I don't have quite enough. You start saying more, I have more than enough. You have more than enough time. I just want to stay with this for a minute. Pardon me for going on and on, but we have 24 hours in a day. If you have an 8-hour job, it's 5 days a week. That 8-hour job takes 10 hours out of your day because you have to prepare and drive to or go to the job, or even if you're at home, it takes some preparation. And then there's a period afterwards, cleaning up after the job or driving home or whatever. So let's figure that you're using 10 hours a day. And let's see that you're sleeping 8 hours a night. That gives you 6 hours. And I asked you what you're doing with those 6 hours. Well, you're making meals and you're doing this, but those are voluntary hours. And even the 8 hours that you're at work or the 10 hours that you're at work, your mind is free to bring about more abundance in every way. More friendship, more love. Love is the presence of God. More love, giving more love. That's service, even as work. You go to get a cup of coffee from the coffee machine, bring another one for the other person that's sitting there. The more you can be in service all day long. More love, more love, more love brings more abundance, and that brings more money. That was a really good question. Thank you.
This is a two-part one from Linda. How do you affirm something you want in a believable way without feeling that you are saying a lie? And the second part is, can you express a little bit more about the statement around intention and your attention?
Okay, first let me talk about the affirmation. If when you're doing your affirmation, what your thought is I'm doing this affirmation because I don't have enough money. I'm doing this affirmation because I'm stuck in a bad place. Then what you're doing is validating through the affirmation that you're in fact in poverty. I'm doing this affirmation because I don't know how I'm going to get through this week or this month. Then you're just validating that. An affirmation starts with the words, I am, and it starts with words, I am for a purpose. I am means I am this. Everything else is false. The idea that I don't have enough is a false idea. The idea that I have lack and limitation, that's false. That's not true. This is true. I am abundant. This is true. I am experiencing enough in my life right now. And those affirmations have got to be the truth. And you've got to be able to focus on that rather than the lack. Otherwise, you're actually affirming your lack. So you've got to make your mind go where your affirmation's going. Now, in terms of attention and intention, it simply is this. The focus of our mind is pretty darn narrow. We can't think several thoughts at the same time. And we can think contradictory thoughts to what we believe to be true, but our thoughts are focused thoughts. So when I'm daydreaming and I'm thinking about something, that's the thing I'm thinking about. And my thoughts are real. My thoughts, they're not little tunes in my skull. They're vast fields of energy. And they focus in areas that they want to create, and they're creating all the time. Your mind is creating right now. But see, you probably don't believe that because we live our thoughts live in a circular world. 95% of the thoughts you had yesterday are the same thoughts you have today and the same thoughts you'll have tomorrow. That's proven. 95% of the thoughts you had yesterday are the thoughts you had today. So when I say that your thoughts are creating a reality, you probably are thinking, well, it doesn't seem to be creating a reality in my life, but it's creating that same reality over and over and over again. So an affirmation breaks out of the circle and says, we're doing something different. I'm doing something new and different. I'm having a new thought. That's why this is called the New Thought Movement. I'm having a new thought, and I'm going to stick with that thought until that thought becomes my habitual thinking. And then my circle of thinking will have grown larger and will incorporate abundance, prosperity, relationships, health, joy, peace of mind. Those things that I want more of, I will have more of. Thank you for that.
Great. Okay, that was a very, very good answer, Bob. So here's a good question. Can you please explain how tithing creates more abundance for the giver?
It's really simple, and I know that it says in the Bible and in a lot of places, and a lot of ministers go on and on about that it'll come back to you tenfold. That's not true. It won't come back to you tenfold. I don't know who first made that up, but it's nonsense. If you give $100 to Unity of Vancouver, you're not going to get $1,000 back. That's nonsense. That's just nonsense. When you tithe, it isn't the money that you tithe. It's yourself that you tithe. So I'm a tither. 10% of everything I make goes to the source of what I think is the important spirituality in the world, which is Unity of Vancouver. 10% of everything I make. And I don't say, girl, I'm going to try this on and see if it comes back to me. See, that's not tithing. That's gambling, or that's trying to make a deal with God. All right, I'm going to give 10% right now, and I'm going to work on this. I'll do this for 1 month, but boy, I better see something coming back. That doesn't work. I can promise you, nothing's going to come back. That's why it's stupid to say that it'll come back to you tenfold. It's not going to come back to you tenfold. Depending on your attitude, it's going to come back to you multifold until your cup runneth over. Because your attitude is, I have more than I need. I'm going to tell you about a lady that I knew in San Diego, and I was talking to her about tithing. And she said, I just really can't afford to tithe. I'm only getting $100 a week right now. And that's all I'm getting in. And I said, give $10 of that to the source of your spiritual awakening. Trust me. So she did. And for a while, nothing happened. And she said, well, nothing's coming back. And I said, you're not giving, you're bargaining. You're dealing, you're investing to see if this investment's going to work out for you. You have to give as though you're the richest person in the world, and you're not going to miss it a bit. So she did. And she started, and it started coming back to her. But I want to be very careful when I say this. I don't even like the words "it comes back to her." It expanded her sense of abundance. It expanded her sense of abundance in harmony with her spiritual source, in harmony with spirituality. She grew, and she grew, and she grew, and she grew. And eventually, money started coming from places she didn't think it would come from. And then somebody in her family that was wealthy died and left her a bunch of money, and she was wealthy. She had a ton of money, and she stopped tithing. She stopped tithing because she said, well, why would I tithe? I don't need tithing. Somewhere back in the back of her mind was still that little niggling thought that said, I'm giving so that it'll come back to me. Somewhere that was just a tiny thought still hanging in there. And she came to me about, 5 or 7 years later and said, I got to start tithing again, Bob, because nothing's working. My investments are not working. Nothing's working. And I said, then I promise you, it's a mistake for you to start tithing again. And I really want you to hear this. It's a mistake for you to start tithing again. Don't do it. She said, why? I said, because you're not really tithing. You're investing. And it's a poor investment to just give money away and pretend it's going to come back. That's a poor investment. You're investing your soul, you're investing your heart, you're investing your intention, you're investing your creative attention into something that you believe in. Knowing you can afford to do so, getting on the team, being a part of that. And then money, wealth in all of its forms starts trickling into you from unseen areas, things that you never thought would happen. You'll be surprised continually about what happens, but don't do it so that will happen. Do it because you can afford to do it. Do it because you are abundant. Thank you.
Here's one, Bob. How do you practice abundance fully when your long-term partner that you've lived with lives in lack all the time?
Well, that's really a good question. And I know a lot of you out there listening to this or watching this either today or on YouTube a month or a year from now or whenever. I know that you probably have that same thing going on. then what you have to do is have an agreement with that partner that you are also a partner. Not only is that other person your partner, you are their partner. And as their partner, you have an equal say. So you have to have the ability to be abundant in your life. And once again, as I said earlier, if you practice abundance and if you believe in this, then sell it. If you know that this is true, that abundance starts with an attitude, then sell it to your partner. And at least have the ability within them to practice abundance, at least in a small way. But once again, as I said earlier, your example will bring them along. If you live that, if you live with the absolute belief that you are abundant in relationships, in health, in wealth, in spirituality, and in creativity, if you're believing that, by gosh, it's going to happen for you. And they'll see that happening and they'll come along. Thank you.
Okay, Bob, we have one last question here. Do we need to change just our mind, or must we change our activities too around abundance?
Yeah, you do have to change your activities too. But the good news is that if you change your mind, your activities will automatically change. So yes, your behaviors have to change. You have to begin behaving in a different way. And you behave in a different way because you're now believing in a different way. You're not doing something differently and saying, I hope this works. You're doing something differently because you believe it. You believe in a different way. So if you really do the affirmations again and again and again and again, do that affirmation and believe in it and believe in who you are. Believe in your ability to be all that you can be. Believe in yourself as an abundant person. If you can do that, then I can promise you that abundance will come to you. And yes, you do have to change your affirmation. You have to change the way you talk. Your affirmation, once again, for this week is, I am worthy of abundance in all things today. And if I say, I am worthy of abundance in all things today, and I believe that, then my behaviors are going to change. And as my behaviors change, my life changes. And as my life changes, then so does my world. And so does the life of the people that I love and the people around me. You can't believe how much of difference that you're going to make in your life and in the lives around you through gratitude and abundance thinking. Thank you all for your wonderful questions today. We're a team. Let's go forward as a team and make a difference in the world.
Okay, actually, I have another question here, Bob.
Oh,
If
okay.
you want to take it.
Sure.
Emmett Fox says that the key to prosperity is to tithe 10% of your net. Do you agree that if so, does the money have to be to a church or to any good cause?
You know, it can be to any good cause, but I'm a believer. See, I tithe to Unity of Vancouver. I give 10% of everything that comes to me to Unity of Vancouver. I also make donations. That's different. I make donations to the Girl Scouts. I make donations to cancer. I make donations to orphanages. I make donations to children's hospitals. I make donations over and above the tithing. So they're different. I tithe to the source of where I think spirituality is growing in my life. That's where my tithe goes. And I don't, and I know this is not part of the question, but I want to just mention this again. I don't tithe because I can't afford to, and I'm trying to learn how to afford to. I tithe because I can afford to. And people who say, I can't afford to tithe, they're right. They're absolutely right. When you tithe because you can afford to. If it's $1 a week, you tithe because you can afford to. And it opens your mind and it opens your heart to more abundance. That's why it comes back to you multifold. Thank you.
That's beautiful. And, you know, this is what happens, Bob. You know, we come to the end and then a few more questions, you know, start coming in here. And so it's like, I don't want to not ask these. And this will be the last one, actually. I'm affirming that this is the last question.
Okay.
Can you elaborate on the counterintuitive idea that in order to increase abundance, you need to be grateful for what you have in this moment?
You've just answered the question. You've just answered the question. Gratitude. If I'm not grateful for what I have, then I will have no more. Gratitude is the pathway to abundance. You must be grateful for what you have right now, right here, in order for the doors of abundance to open for you. There's a metaphysical depth to that, and we'll talk about that next week. It's going to be we're going to go into that in depth next week because it's really an important point. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Bob. And again, thank you always for your wonderful perspectives that you shared with us. And we so love and appreciate you. We love you.
Thank you.